So you will know. So you will not enter that house. So you go to the next one. You go and find another homestead where there is no spear. And try your luck there. And life goes on. It's never an issue. So tell me, in that setup, that kind of culture, will you even know if the child is yours, is biological or not? It's very difficult to know that, and nobody even cares. That's why children were the same. Nobody cared. So this idea of this man here in Nyabohansa saying, oh, my biological son, is nonsense in African setup. Children are the same. Nobody followed children in that who are already adults in that manner. It's upon the child, if it is true, it's upon the child if they want to find out and things like that, but in a low-key manner. But not going to all over the place telling the world that this is my child and it's like you want it by force. Hello guys, hope you are well, hope you are doing fine. Welcome back to Village is Amazing. There's this issue of this man in Nyabohansa who is claiming to be the biological father to the famous Ayamaru. I thought about it, and I realized the man is very malicious. Either malicious or selfish, something like that. Because it's against the African culture to behave the way he's doing. He calls himself Koera Senior, something like that. And it's really sad that someone mature or of his age can behave in that manner. Because I was trying to research, and not necessarily research, even the basic knowledge we know is that in African setup, people were not following, if at all it is true, the way he's alleging. Either way, I've never heard of cases where people follow adult children wherever they are and start saying, oh, that was my child. Yet, the same person did not contact the child when or did not take care of that child, or look for that child, or try and impact on the life of that child when the child was growing up. Then you wait when someone is a fully grown man and you start claiming, oh, my son, where was he? So it's not it's against the African customs for anyone to behave like that. Because number one, we did not have in African culture this idea of child support, and monogamy was foreign. We do not have those kind of lifestyle before. So the behavior he's showing is very strange. Because I remember in African setup, a woman or a lady can be married with her children. So if a lady has one child, 2 or 3 children, and the lady is married by another man while having those children, automatically those children were assumed to belong to the new husband. That's culture. You don't discriminate children and say, now this one are my children, this ones are not yours. So as I was saying, in African culture and customs, children were never discriminated. All children were the same. So you will not find the lifestyle which we witness in Western world, where a lady will come with their own children, a man will come there with their children. So once they marry or they live as partners, then they have cases of a set of children which are called stepchildren. So another will be having stepdaughter, another one stepson, the issue of stepchildren. So in African culture, that was not there. There was nothing like stepfather or even adoption. Even adoption was once somebody has been welcomed to the family, the child would be just like any other. They would even be assigned names and all that, which I think for adoption, adoption is almost similar, but only that there's a lot of formalities in Western world. But the specific one which I have an issue with is the issue of stepchildren. It is normal in Western world to have stepchildren, stepson, stepdaughter, and it's normal. But in African culture, children were never discriminated. So once you come together and you marry and you become a couple, so if the lady came with children and the husband came with children, their own children, once you are one family, it doesn't matter whose children came with the mom or the dad. All the children are the same. So we don't have issues of my stepchild. Children are the same. Once they are in your house or your home, those are your children. Once you marry their father or you marry their mother, those are your children. Nothing like stepchild. It's just a child. So our African great parents or ancestors were very wise on that part. They did not want to discriminate children. So the society kind of was one. They were united in bringing up children. So there wasn't any need of discriminating the children, that this one came from another family or so and so. And that is why, for example, myself, when I was growing up, even children used to be disciplined by any other adult person within the community, and it was never an issue. But these days, with embracing other cultures, now people will not be happy if you touch their child or if you try and discipline. They'll tell you, I'm the only one as a parent who will discipline my child. So it was okay, especially when I was growing up, for any other neighbor or an adult person or an elder in the community to discipline a child, even if they are not their own child. But these days, it hasn't happened because we have embraced other cultures. And the issue of Western world bringing in issues of stepchildren is basically because of this accountability thing on child support. Because they want to say whoever the father of that child will have to pay something, even if the lady is married elsewhere. So that issue of child support is what makes people follow keenly who is the biological father of the child and all that. In African setup, we do not have those things. Nothing like child support. So if the lady is married, the man who marries that lady will take over the children from that lady. Because in any case, polygamy was legal in Africa, and it's legal even right now in a case like Kenya. And within a family, you cannot discriminate your children. Sometimes even some parents would be raising children as long as the mother says that's your father. that will be your father. So there's nothing like test and proof. As long as the lady has said that's your father, that should be your father, and that's it. So it was so peaceful in that manner, because men who are polygamous, they'll be having so many wives. Sometimes it would not even be possible. You might not even tell if all the children are yours, and nobody questioned that. And that is why in African setup, they never even counted children or their herd of cattle. They never counted, because child is a child. You don't need to count. There was a similar case when the sister to Obama, that is Dr. Auma Obama, she was interviewed during the Finance Bill 2024 demonstrations, and the lady, I think the reporter in one of the international stations, I think it was BBC or CNN. I think it was CNN. So the reporter in CNN kept on saying, your stepbrother, President Barack Obama, every time using the word step brother. And Dr. Auma said, we don't have those things. That's my brother. Stop saying your step brother, former President Barack Obama. So she said, we don't use that. We don't have that. And it's on record. During the demonstrations, Dr. Auma said that's my brother. President Barack Obama is not my step brother. We don't do that. We just say brother. So that's a perfect example of how our culture has been. You don't, for example, in polygamy, the children will be born by different mothers. So you cannot start under the same father and the same homestead. So you cannot start saying this one is stepchild. It will be a lot of confusion. So children are the same as long as it's same father, same family. Doesn't matter it's from which mother. So children are the same. So that idea of step brother, step sister, or step children is foreign in African customs. There is that issue of even the Maasais, people of the same age set group. Someone, if the ones who graduate at the same time, they pass through that ritual and that age group, same age group, the ones who undergo that process in the same time. So those ones, although it's an old practice, but it's said that those boys, so those men now, the ones now who have become men, someone will just come with a spear to your homestead, you're married, and they will spend the night in your homestead. So when you come back and you see the spear or the sword, I think it's a spear, or by the doorstep, you will know, because you are trained, you are told about that, and it is something which is culture. So you will know. So you will not enter that house. So you go to the next one. You go and find another homestead where there is no spear, and try your luck there. And life goes on. It's never an issue. So tell me, in that setup, that kind of culture, will you even know if the child is yours, is biological or not? It's very difficult to know that, and nobody even cares. That's why children were the same. Nobody cared. So this idea of this man here in Nyaboanza saying, oh, my biological son, is nonsense in African setup. Children are the same. Nobody followed children in that who are already adults in that manner. It's upon the child, if it is true, it's upon the child if they want to find out and things like that, but in a low-key manner. But not going to all over the place telling the world that this is my child, and it's like you want it by force. So it doesn't work. We have the case of this tribe in Kenya called the Turkana. tribe. It's normal. Like when the lady, if the lady wants to go to be married by another man, they take the younger baby and they leave the rest to the other man. Then the lady will be married to someone else. And that child, the smaller one, will belong to that man. So there'll be nothing like stepchild. You see? So some things do not apply to African culture. So sometimes we have adopted some behaviors or cultures which were not meant for us. And that issue of President Barack Obama and Dr. Auma is a classic example, because it was captured in CNN when I'm not sure if the CNN was, but I think it was CNN, where she clarified that that's my brother. We don't have issues of step children or step brother, step sister. Those things are not there. So I hope this man will just give up, just leave this story of saying, "Oh, my son, my son." He's just embarrassing. He's just embarrassing himself. He's just embarrassing himself for nothing. So I wanted to clarify that the issue of following up and children are saying that's my biological child is an African. That was not an African thing, because the moment a lady is married with children, those children belong to that new husband or that person wherever that lady has been married, and that new husband also knows that those are their children. If the lady came with the children, those are his children now officially. Nobody questioned that in our society. So this thing of this man shouting to the heavens that my son is an African. It's not an African thing. It's not an African thing. So that's it. I wanted to clarify that there are some things which works to other societies, but for us it was never meant for us. For people from Africa, that was not our way of life. But people have started to adopt them, and they want to start and force it on other people. It will not work well. That's why the issue of monogamy with religion, people have tried to eliminate monogamy. So it's culture. So I normally say whoever wants to continue with that type of is okay. Whoever wants to be monogamous is okay, but not demonizing another culture. If it's not, you feel like you've seen the light and it's not okay for you, just leave it. You do the one you like it, but don't demonize it. You see, just do what fits you. But the issue of trying to make something to look bad simply because it's an African thing is not the right thing to do. Okay, so Koera, that man who is claiming, who wants to claim someone by force, he should mind his business. Just focus on other things. That's an African following children and saying, "Oh, that one is mine. That one is mine." Somebody who belongs already to another homestead and they have their dad. Whether it is true or not, it's an African. It's not an African thing. It's not the right thing to do. I hope it makes sense. See you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.